by Zales, The Diamond Store, Love Real, and in part by Taco Bell. Download the Taco Bell app and vote for this month's Live Más Student Section.
There are so many wonderful, unique traditions in college sports, and to be a part of all of them is great, but senior day hits a little different when you see these guys run out of the tunnel for the last time in front of a home crowd, their families waiting for them on the field. Of course, Jayden Daniels got an immense roar here from the crowd at Tiger Stadium. You could barely hear the announcement when he came out on the field. Running under it, Ruben Owens. Good return out across the 25, gets to the edge, stiff arm out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Well, comparing Jayden Daniels to Joe Burrow, you weren't sure if you ever wanted to compare someone to Joe Burrow in terms of statistically putting up those types of numbers, but that's a pretty favorable comparison.
Yeah, and what we saw from Joe Burrow in 2019, many thought would never be replicated. And the fact that Jayden Daniels has actually been able to exceed that in total yards and in touchdowns responsible for, I mean, that last number was probably the most important when you look at the QBR. Jayden Daniels is not just out here running around like a chicken with his head cut off. This guy is playing the position at an extremely high level and putting all those NFL draft scouts in a bind, not knowing where to place him. But he is certainly a first-round quarterback in my book.
Jalen Henderson, backwards pass is handled. Up the sideline goes Le'Veon Moss, and he picks up about 3. Down to Chris.
Bob, and the talk about the Heisman is everywhere down here. When he ran out for senior day, you heard the crowd chanting Heisman. Back inside the locker room in the facility, there's players and staff wearing Jayden for Heisman t-shirts. I asked him this week, who's he leaned on to talk with all this? And he's like, I haven't really heard much about the Heisman. To which I laughed and said, well, you probably won't want to listen to our broadcast considering Robert's up there.
The Heisman may come up today as Texas A&M will be about 3 yards short of a first down. Greg Penn brings down Ernest Cronover.
Well, you talk about the Heisman, and the number one thing Texas A&M doesn't want to do is allow Jayden Daniels and LSU to win the Heisman on them. So when you look at this from their offensive perspective, they have to continue to try to get the running game going. But here, once again on third down, Jalen Henderson maybe uses his legs.
Instead, Le'Veon Moss blasts up the middle for a first down as LSU continues to struggle to get stops on third down. Coming into today, 113th in FBS at stopping opponents on third down.
And you know what's so shocking about that run on third down, Bob, is the fact that the middle of this LSU defense has actually been a strength over the past few games. Jordan Jefferson and Mason Smith have really been locking it down, and A&M even told us we're going to try to run to the perimeter, but they ran that one right down the pipe.
Anderson off play action. Tries to drop one in on the sideline to Ainias Smith, but airmails him out of bounds. It'll be second down and 10.
And right there you had Andre Sam, number 14, playing the safety spot on the back end. And who was that underneath? Oh, it was Harold Perkins Jr. This guy is really good at everything, whether it's rushing the passer, coverage, running sideline to sideline. That's why he was a preseason All-American coming into the year. And they got to find ways to get him more involved in the pass rush so he can do what he does best and attack the quarterback.
Underneath route. Spinning for a first down is Ainias Smith. He's got 14.
And right here, they're just going to put the defense in the bind, making actually Harold Perkins decide if he wants to play the run or play the pass. And with Ainias Smith running that nice little flat route, it's always a good thing to get a player of Ainias Smith's caliber, who is a great run after the catch guy, the ball in space. Right there, no one was guarding it.
The only 2,000-yard receiver in SEC history to also have 250 or more yards as a punt returner, as a kick returner. Ainias Smith, all different ways he can hurt you. As Henderson tries to hurt LSU with his legs here, and he picks up 5. Harold Perkins there to bump him out. And Ainias Smith, he is literally that Swiss Army knife weapon for Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah, you talked about it. Look at the receiving yards, the rushing yards, punt returns, kick returns. He can literally do it all. And here's the crazy thing, people. He still has another year left of eligibility if he wants to come back. I don't know if his 401k is going to kick in anytime soon, but that'll be his 6th or 7th year in college football. What is going on?
Bouncing off tacklers and not finding any room, Amari Daniels. Down to Chris.
Smith was asked about whether or not he's going to use that last year, go to the NFL this past week in the media, and he said, listen, I'm going to be where my feet are. I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought about whether or not I'm going to play in the ball game. I just want to focus on now. He had that opportunity last year. A lot of guys saying you should go. He was recovering from an injury, so that's why I decided to come back. But at the moment, it's about right now.
Third down and 4. You have to think that's where Jalen Henderson will go. Instead, it's Jake Johnson, the tight end, to the 30-yard line. Very close to the line to gain. Omar Speights knocked him out of bounds, and it will be 4th down. He's probably about a half-yard short.
Yeah, you're going to see Jake Johnson just coming on that flat route. I don't know if he got that first down, but he was dang near close to it. But what I do love about what Jalen Henderson is doing is he's just operating the offense. When the plays aren't there, he's using his legs. When it is there, he's getting it out of his hands. And that's really all they need him to do to try to keep this LSU offense off the field. Play after play after play. Let's see what they do handing the ball off to the running backs here.
For the second time here in the first quarter, they go for it on 4th down. That extra push might have been just enough for Moss. And it is a fresh set of downs for Texas A&M. They needed about a foot, and they got about a foot plus 6 inches.
My Lord.
Omar Speights and Andre Sam tried to drive Moss back.
Yeah, you're going to see just put the fullback in front of him, allow him to try to run that guy over, and then the big uglies up front pushed him just a little bit past the line. But I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. I'm watching this man, number 90, Jacoby and Guillory. They have him listed at 6'2", 320. I don't know what he ate for Thanksgiving, y'all, but he ain't 320. That man is about 360 pounds.
Play action, 10th play of the drive. Henderson slides and takes a hit. Whit Weeks came over and brought him down as he gave himself up at the 27-yard line, a gain of 3.
You know, Whit Weeks has a great story. He's been really versatile for this LSU defense all year. But again, Jalen Henderson using his legs. This LSU defense has struggled. I don't think that's a secret to anyone all year, but they've really struggled against mobile quarterbacks. And that's something that Jalen Henderson brings to the table for this offense that maybe Connor Wigman and Max Johnson did not.
Quarterback draw. Going nowhere. Henderson brought down behind the line as Braden Swinson came through and made first contact for LSU, a loss of 5. That'll make it 3rd down and 12.
Well, you know how you stop the quarterback draw? You get penetration into the backfield. Then right there, Braden Swinson ran through his guy to get to the other guy. Now, you know, it's kind of like the equivalent of a pancake for an offensive lineman. When you just run the guy that's trying to block you into the quarterback. Nice play right there by 1-3.
Henderson over the middle in the soft spot right at the first down line to gain is Anaya Smith. And that's good enough for a first down. Picked up 13.
Talked about how Anaya Smith is a precise route runner. Watch him and Jalen Henderson on the same page. Before he even gets to that spot, Henderson is already unleashing the football because of that anticipation that he's playing with. Anaya Smith allows you as a quarterback to know where he's going to be, when he's going to be there. And Henderson was Johnny on the spot.
Henderson, the fake fooled no one. And he is buried for a loss. 5, at least 6 back close to the 25-yard line. Ovi Agufo was there.
Ovi Agufo just let Jalen Henderson know you ain't at Fresno State no more, buddy. When you get out here in the SEC and you run those quarterback reads, you cannot stop your feet. Unless you're Reggie Bush or somebody, and Jalen Henderson, last time I checked, doesn't have that type of explosiveness in his legs.
14th play of the drive, but it's 2nd and long. Henderson out of the pocket. And that got back 4 yards to the 20-yard line as Anaya Smith makes another catch. So now it'll be 3rd down and 11 right on the edge of the red zone. And it looks like that will take us to the end of the first quarter. So it'll be 3rd down and long for Texas A&M to begin quarter number 2. as LSU has the 7-0 lead.